I'm Ashton Addison from BlockWest Capital for Investment Pitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Daniele Lucarelli, CEO and founder of Bridges Exchange. Danny, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for taking the time to come on today.
Thank you, Ashton. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here today.
You're very welcome. There's a lot to dive into with the Bridges blockchain ecosystem, the exchange. Let's just kick off the conversation by hearing a little bit from you on, high-level overview on what Bridges Exchange is all about, and then we'll dive into the details.
Yeah, so Bridges is a project that started to go around my mind since last summer when we were in the middle of a explosive bull run in the crypto markets, and together with a lot of scams going on in the space. So I just decided to do something and give my contribute to solve this problem because I'm a big fan of decentralized finance, and I just wanted to give my contribute to clean the space and help this field to reach the so-called mass adoption. So as of now, the problem with DeFi is that it's basically wild west, and it's not easy for an investor to navigate the space. There are a lot of check marks that you have to go through in order to vet a project before taking the decision if to invest or not in a project. So you have to check the smart contract, because at the end of the story, a token is just a piece of code. You have to have a look at the smart contract, have a look if there is something sketchy going on in the smart contract, have a look at the team, which most of the time is anonymous. And these mainly mean that the investor is asked to blindly trust the project and the team behind it. Mm-hmm. And we want to switch this paradigm and change a little bit the way the space works. So I recently came across a report from Celtic in which they mentioned the amount of scams that happen in the space since the beginning of 2022, and we are talking about estimated $1.7 billion in scamming just the first 4 months of 2022. So this is what we are trying to solve at Bridges, and we are trying to build what we call a semi-decentralized exchange. So why we call it semi-decentralized exchange? Because it will work exactly in the same way the other decentralized exchanges work for every single stakeholder. So for the liquidity provider, for the investor, but it will work a little bit differently for the project developers. So if you are a project developer out there and you want to get listed with us, then you have to undergo through a vetting procedure by our team, and we will check the smart contract, we will check who you are, we will do KYC on you to hold you accountable of what we are doing in the space. And then when you go through all these check marks and you are approved, then you can get listed in our platform. So what we are trying to offer to the investors and the other stakeholders is a safe place where to approach this wonderful work called decentralized finance. And when it comes to the ecosystem, this is our big differentiator, together with our token and the opportunity that are related to our platform in order to earn passive incomes and put your money at work for you, which is pretty unique, and it's a differentiator from every single other decentralized exchange out there, but we can touch base on this later on when we talk about the token.
Definitely great intro, Danny. And I actually wasn't aware of the amount that was already stolen and through scams. I know that there's been a few smart contract hacks and rug pulls and exit scams from projects that are able to list on decentralized exchanges, with almost no compliance. Anybody can list their token on these DeFi exchanges, and there's obviously a solution to be had there that where Bridges Exchange can come in and solve that. I guess it's also a balance between making it not so scrutinous that and having a platform that projects want to list on, right? Some of the greatest advantages of decentralized exchanges is that it's really easy to trade on, and I feel like that's also going to be important for the traders, to have a good user experience. And part of the reason why Uniswap is so popular as one of the most popular decentralized exchanges is that it's very easy to do one-click trade. Now, talking about that vetting process is super important. I'm also curious on the other side about bridges and the trading solutions and the advantages and the user interface and how it's going to be competing with some of the top decentralized exchanges from a usability perspective.
Yeah, so as I said, we will build an ecosystem that is pretty similar to the other decentralized exchange from the user experience point of view, because these platforms are now battle tested and people are used to it. They know how to use it. And of course, at the beginning, our main target will be the crypto savvy people. So people that are already in the space, they're used to these platforms and they know how to use it. So of course, it's risky to go out of the rail since day one. Mm-hmm. But then in the long term, what we want to build is a one-stop shop with third-party integration for example, crypto ramp, so that the user experience as of now inside a platform, it's kind of easy to use. Yes, I agree. But the problem is the steps you have to take before landing on the platform. So you have to first go to a centralized exchange, buy the native coin of the blockchain, and then land on the decentralized exchange, swap your token, and then you have to go through the same procedure, the opposite procedure, if you want to cash out. So you have to go back to the centralized exchange and so on and so forth. So in the long term, we are planning to have this third-party provider working with us, so that basically you have everything in one place. You can go there and do every single operation from zero to the end in our platform. And with that said, another thing, since we are vetting this project, another thing that is difficult in DeFi as of now is that, which is part of the research that currently investors have to do in DeFi. So before investing in a token, you have to go through different websites in order to check if the liquidity is locked, if the tokens from the team are vested, and etc., etc., etc. While if you list with us and you are going through the vetting procedure, we basically gather this information for you, and we will show this information to the investor all in one place. So the investor will have access to all this information before taking a decision and decide if to invest in your project or not. So the long-term goal is to provide a place where the investor only have to focus on the idea behind a project, the team behind a project, the business idea, and just decide if to invest or not based on this, and not if it could be a scam or not, as it is right now.
Definitely great information, Danny. And now you mentioned there about the Bridges token, and often decentralized exchanges are creating a token and centralized exchanges as well for helping with either fees or governance, things like that. What's the story behind the Bridges token, and how does that fit into the ecosystem?
Yeah, so we launched our token back in November 2021, and it's a pretty unique token compared to the tokens you usually have in other decentralized exchanges. So our token is a limited supply token, and it's a dividend paying token. So how this is being integrated in our ecosystem? So first of all, the name of the game in decentralized exchanges is to incentivize liquidity providers, because otherwise, without liquidity providers, you don't have a market. And this is basically done in two ways. The first is to provide a fee to the liquidity providers, and this is mainly related to the liquidity pair you're providing. And when it comes to this, we are paying something around 20% more with respect to the average decentralized exchange out there. And then the second way to incentivize liquidity provider is to pay with your native token all the liquidity providers willing to commit their liquidity. So through staking, so also known as farming. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to farming, there are two problems in this model. So these platforms are using an inflationary token. So they are fueling their ecosystem by constantly minting new tokens. So you go on the farm page of a decentralized exchange and you see this stellar API, 50%, 60%. But the way the ecosystem works is, again, minting new token. And these are two drawbacks. Drawback number one is that you are diluting the total supply, and this will drive the price down lower. And the other thing is that the only way a liquidity provider has to cash out and to basically earn their profit is by selling your token, and so increasing the selling pressure on the asset. This means that yes, you can see a 50% API on a farm, but this is computed with the current rates. So there is no guarantee that asset will have the same price in 1 year from now. Mm-hmm. With bridges, first of all, we have a limited supply token, so we are not minting new token to fuel our ecosystem, but actually on the opposite, we will be forced to buy back our token in order to fund our ecosystem, therefore driving the value and increasing the price of the asset. And on the other side, as I said, it's a dividend paying token. And the way it works is that by holding our token, you will get a portion of the entire volume going on in the decentralized exchange paid out in dividends. So this will incentivize you to hold our token and therefore reduce the selling pressure.
That's great, Danny. And yeah, I think having the proper token mechanisms to sustain the price floor and just like the flow in and out of the utility of the token is very important. So I'm glad that your team has sort of worked that out. Now I'm curious on the token integrating into the exchange. What is the current stage and the scope of where the exchange is at right now?
Yeah, so we are currently approaching the last week of beta testing. So our DEX is not just a fork from another one. So it's completely new in the way it works. And to be sure that our platform is safe, we wanted to go through a beta testing phase. Mm-hmm. And we are approaching the last week of beta testing. After that, we will wrap up, fix all the bugs that the beta tester will report, and we are approaching the launch of the platform, and we are aiming to launch the platform before the end of Q2, so in the next month.
That's great to hear. And you talked a lot about the the Wild West of crypto at the beginning. I'm curious, are you targeting a specific blockchain ecosystem? There's different blockchains that sort of have different security protocols, and their decentralized exchanges like Uniswap only works on the Ethereum blockchain, and some other exchanges only work with one blockchain. How are you working in the different blockchain ecosystems, or where are you working with the exchange?
Yeah, we are working currently on the Binance, the BNB Chain, that recently changed the name from Binance Smart Chain to BNB Chain. And we picked this chain because it was where the problem was, at least when we started thinking about the project. So because of the low gas fees, of course, if you are a scammer, you don't want to go on Ethereum where you have to pay several thousands of dollars to just deploy your smart contract. So of course, you pick cheaper solutions. And before other chains came out, like for example Matic or Phantom or other good technologies out there, Binance was the where to go for the scammers, and where the most of the problem is as of now. So if you want to solve a problem, you have to go where the problem is, and we started with Binance Chain. But with that said, in the long term, we are not binded to a specific blockchain, and we will evaluate in the future the market, and we will if to go multi-chain.
That's good to know. And maybe you can talk about where you see Bridges Exchange and hopefully, the solving of this Wild West and scams of crypto with Bridges, 1 year or 2 years from now, and how you see it fitting into the decentralized exchange ecosystem.
Yeah, so we call ourselves a crypto tech company. So we don't want to stick just to one technology, namely a decentralized exchange. We don't want to set a hard roadmap for a reason, because DeFi and crypto in general is a field that is evolving very fast as of now, and you constantly have to monitor the market and see what are the new trends, and you have to be fast in order to bring your user what are the new tools, the new trends of the markets, and so on and so forth. So as of now, the focus is absolutely the decentralized exchange. Then after the platform will be launched, the next focus will be to make it an established platform. So starting to roll out the projects, make the listing procedure a well-oiled machine. Then the next piece will be to integrate a launchpad so that the projects that want to bootstrap their project can come to us and use a suite of tools that we will prepare for them. But in the long term, 1 year, 2 years from now, we want to explore other fields as well. For example, NFT, as of now, it's a big trend, but it's still in its infantry, if you think of it, because it's still mostly related to art, picture, and these kind of things. But actually with NFTs, you can tokenize every single asset, every single thing in the real world. And we would like to explore this field as well, which is super exciting to us. But yeah, with that said, the main goal of Bridges is to provide, and indeed that's the last step of our roadmap. Once our ecosystem is grown and we implemented several tools, several opportunities to access the space, the main goal at the end is to wrap up everything and pack it into a one-stop shop app application, mobile application, so that user can easily access this space, which is incredible and full of opportunities. But as of now, it's very difficult to access. There are so many barriers, and these are the barriers that we want to break with our final solution, and providing even another piece which is very important for us, which is a knowledge-based application. So the problem of the scams out there, it's because of two reasons mainly. So the first reason is because if you want to build a successful project, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes skills, it takes commitment. While if you want to run a scam as of now, it's cheap, it's fast, it's easy. And this is one of the reasons why. But the other reason is, in my opinion, is the approach of 90% of the investor that they have in DeFi when they approach DeFi. So there is this overall thinking that you approach DeFi, you go there with $100 and you become millionaire overnight. And this, of course, is fueling the hackers, because they can run the scams, and they are sure that there will be a big portion of investors falling for that. What we want to build is a knowledge base, providing information to the investors, or at least the ones using our platform, to provide them a tool, a suite of tools to use to approach these markets, and give them a realistic expectation, give them the tools to make some research in this field, because when you approach this project, it's not a normal company, so you have to change a little bit the way you make research on this project. So we want to pack everything in this application, so that to create a safe environment to approach this world, and a safe environment that can be used by everyone, from the crypto savvy to the normal person out there that just want to invest some of his money in this space.
That's great. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all comes to fruition with Bridges. Yeah. And part of the first step is, the launching out of the beta and to the public. What is the best way for the viewers to follow along with the launch of the exchange and to get involved with the communities?
Yeah, so you can find us, first of all, in our website, bridges.exchange. You can find all the information. You can find our white paper, our roadmap. And in our website, you will even find all the links to our socials, so our Twitter, our Telegram, our Discord, and all the other socials where we are. You can follow our community. It's a very inclusive community. It's an amazing community. I'm very proud of them. And yeah, great. We are waiting for you.
All right, Danny, I will leave those links as well, just for the viewers, in the description box below. All the best with everything moving forward with Bridges. Rooting for you guys. Please solve these problems in the space, and I'm looking forward to following up in the near future.
We'll try our best. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.